Who knew that just breathing could change your life? Well, hopefully you've listened to the episode with Steven Stott with a company called Embrace the Darkness, an episode I did a few months ago. And I have been working with Steven for a few months now, actually doing a monthly breathwork session with him. And I just came out of the most powerful session I've had with him to date, to the point that I was crying. And I knew that based on the impact and power that this particular session had, this was the time for me to come tell you about it. And if you're hearing this, it's because you were meant to. If you've been thinking about checking out breath work, especially checking out breath work with Steven, I highly recommend it. Working with him has lowered my stress levels, increased my confidence, and now I know it's in the process of growing my business. So if breath work is something that seemed a little weird or woo woo or whatever it may be, and you want to give it a shot and see what working with him might be, I've gotten him to gift you a little mini session. All you have to do is go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com/breathwork 101, and it'll take you directly to where you can access a little sample of what it's like to work with Steven Stott with Embrace the Darkness and have your own personal experience is really the best word I can find right now. Have your own experience with Steven to see if you would like to take that just a little bit further with him. Anyway, Badass Crew, I really hope you'll take me up on it because if it's working for me, I'm telling you, it's life changing. All from just having an intuitive guide take you through the process. Go check it out. badassdirectsalesmastery.com/breathwork 101. And of course, as you know, that link is in the notes.
Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jennie will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome back to another episode of Badass Direct Sales Mastery. I'm your host, your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger, helping you whip your business into shape. And today I have with me Rachel Bannert. And Rachel has been married for 24 years. She's a mom of 5 and she's got 3 grandchildren. She lives on a mini farm out in the country and she loves meeting new people, which is one thing that she loves about working with her business in Mary Kay. Rachel, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Howdy. So tell me a little bit about, because you and I were introduced through you visiting, I think, a BNI chapter, or I don't even remember how we got introduced. But
I went to a bridal show and one of the vendors got us in contact.
that's right. Yeah. And that's probably a wedding show I should have been at, given that I'm engaged to be married right now. But that's right. So we were introduced through someone who's a mutual friend of mine to be able to talk on the show today about your business and Mary Kay. So how did you get started in Mary Kay? What attracted you to work in the world of direct sales?
Well, I was introduced to Mary Kay by my daughter. She had a class and I was not interested in makeup whatsoever. And that's why I had never tried Mary Kay. Well, she told me that it was more about skincare. So I said, okay. Well, I fell in love with the skincare. And that's how I became a consultant. So
Yeah,
the
no.
makeup just came with it. And then me and my youngest daughter, with TikTok and all of that, I have learned to do makeup very well. and I get complimented on my makeup all the time because I like the natural look. So people compliment me on my makeup. I don't like to like take it on. So,
That's good. So you have a TikTok channel then.
yes, I have TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
Gotcha. And in that, what have you found to be the most rewarding with having multiple social media channels when it comes to your business?
I get a lot of followers and responses. Like, I take different looks on me and post them, and people comment on them, and they want to know like what colors and how do I get my makeup looking so flawless, how my skin looks so great, what kind of products I use. So I just kind of answer them back with that, the picture that they commented on, like what colors and what I used that day and what I used with my skincare every day, if it was a
Gotcha.
skincare question.
Gotcha. And so with that, has that ended up turning into business for you? Have you been able to convert people from comments on social media to become clients?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay. Very good. Because there's lots of people I know in the world of social media who, or direct sales, who, when they're building a social media presence, they haven't necessarily been able to convert them. So, what do you think has been helped you be so successful at converting, strangers on social media into customers?
When they comment, I kind of, because I post something different almost every day,
Okay.
no matter what it is, if it's just like a look that I've done personally, or if it's like deals that I've got going on, or like tips and everything that I've learned, I just comment on them, and then people comment back and I answer right away, and I just tell them all about whatever they want to know, and they feel like I'm telling them as like a friend instead of just like some stranger, because
Yeah.
I treat all of my clients like they are my friend, because that's what they turn into.
Aw, I love that. So, how have you, over this amount of time, grown your social media following? And do you find that you have found more success with one platform over another?
I post videos like me doing my skincare or my makeup or anything, but I have a lot more followers on TikTok than I do any of the other ones. And my youngest daughter helped me with my TikTok account because I'm not like tech savvy. But TikTok has really took off for me without the videos and stuff. I just post pictures and, like I said, the deals and stuff, and people just comment and we get in contact and they become customers.
Gotcha. Do you find, because what I'm thinking is might be happening there and might be helping you as well, is the fact that, if you're sharing very obviously that you are with Mary Kay, and this is a very established, well known company in the world, do you find that that is actually an attracting factor?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, Mary Kay has been around for 63 years, going on 63 years in July. So, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that Mary Kay is just not makeup.
Yeah.
It's more skincare, and you have to take care of your skin in order for your makeup to look the best that it can. So I'm more of the skincare type person. Yes, I do wonderful makeup, and brides love how I do their makeup, but they also appreciate me getting their skin ready for their special day and every day that they wear makeup.
Oh, that's good to know. So, do you actually go and help brides with their wedding day look?
Yes, I do.
Oh, see that right there. That is a great way to help attract in people. Do you find, are you doing a lot of those wedding looks on
Yes.
TikTok?
Yes. I do a lot of the natural looks, but with different colors, but they're still natural looks. a lot of my brides want to see them on me, and then I'll replicate them on them and their bridesmaids or their moms or mom-in-laws. Sometimes my customers want to see the dramatic look, which, yes, I don't mind dramatic looks, just not on me, but I will do it. So I have done dramatic looks on me because they want to see it on somebody else and then see it on them.
Gotcha. So do you find, is that one of the things that you think may be helping to grow your social media following, is that very wedding, that very specific focus on wedding and brides and bridal looks?
Yes.
Okay. There
Yep.
we go. Are there other areas that you focus on in order to help grow your following? Because I know that like getting more followers is a big question that I hear about all the time. And I'm like, well, I know how I do it, but I'm not active in the world of direct sales. So I've got
Yes.
direct selling people who follow me. So I'm always interested to see how people who are active in the industry are actually doing it. So are there other ways that you're attracting other potential clients?
Yes. I do free facials and makeovers. I have like little boxes that I leave in restaurants, nail salons. I've left them in bookstores, anywhere that the owners give me permission. And then I leave them for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on where I put them. And then I go back
Uh-huh.
and I pick a name and I give them a free facial and makeover and maybe like 25 to $50 free worth of product. And people love that.
Oh, so I'm going to confirm some things because I'm familiar with this practice by Mary Kay reps because it's something that has been very effective for decades in the Mary Kay company. But I've got obviously more than just Mary Kay people who listen to the show. So when
Mm-hmm.
you say that, you are putting up basically a little box that has a sign attached to it that says, fill out a slip in order to be entered into a drawing for a free facial with, $50 of free product or whatever. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And when you leave them at the location, so let's say it's a salon,
Mm-hmm.
on average, about how many entries are you getting in that box per week?
Depending on the location,
Uh,
uh, I would say anywhere from 75 to 100 per week.
okay. Y'all can't see my face. My jaw just dropped because that's 75 to 100 leads that you have. Now, you do a drawing for $50 in, well, let's say you said 25 to $50 in free product, right?
Yes.
So you then obviously, let's go on the low end. So now you have 74 people who put their name into the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still reaching out to those 74 people for a conversation?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. And about how many of those people respond?
I would say probably about 80%.
Okay, they respond.
Yes.
What verbiage are you using to reach out to them to get such a high response rate?
Well, we have scripts that we use, but with me, I have found that people respond more better if I say it more like from me, not from like a script. So,
Right.
and that's what I have learned throughout the 3 years that I've been doing Mary Kay, that they want you to be more like yourself and
Yeah.
not reading from some script.
Right. So what is it that you send? Is the initial first thing, do you call them first? Are you texting them? Are you emailing them? How do you reach out to the people who didn't win the grand prize?
I will, depending on what they put on the slip, sometimes I will text them. Sometimes, well, most of the time I do call.
Okay.
Now, if they don't answer, because a lot of people don't answer to numbers that they don't know. So
Right.
I send a text saying that, hey, this is Rachel with Mary Kay. You entered into my drawing. I would like to have a conversation with you. about your free facial and makeover. And usually they respond right back to me by either texting or calling.
Okay. And so you've let them know that they've won a free facial.
Yep. And makeover. I give free facials and makeovers to everybody that I see.
Okay, there you go. So that's the key then. They're seeing that that's what's in it for them, right? Because one of
Yes.
the things that I forget who worded it this way for me. Oh, I think it was my friend Arnie. He said, most people are tuned into one single radio station in their heads, and it's WIFM, which is what's in it for me, you
Yes.
know? And so for them, it's that free facial and makeover. And
Yes.
most people are going to respond back to get a free facial or makeover.
Yes.
Okay. And so they call you back pretty quickly then.
Yes. Yep.
Ah, very nice. And what would you say your conversion rate is for the people who you end up uh, having that sit down time with?
I'd like to join with Mary Kay.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, yes, that's obviously something that people would be that the listeners here would be interested in knowing, but just on the sales side initially, because I
Oh,
would assume that most people probably end up buying a product
yes.
or two based on their experience.
Yes. Um, Most of the people that I see
Mhm.
do buy stuff. Either it's just like our CC cream or one of our facial washes. It just kind of depends on the person and what they're looking for.
Okay. And then in terms of, since you brought it up, in terms of team growth in 3 years, how has your team grown from doing this process of meeting new people?
It has done good because they see the benefits in Mary Kay. I love what Mary Kay started, and I
Yeah.
fully get behind what she did. She's always said faith first, family, then career, and I stick by that. So it's just kind of, she has taught in her book, because she's no longer alive,
Right.
just what you should do and how you should do your business and what works and what don't work, and that's what I do. And once people see that side of all the good that she's done and what it can do for you and your business, they just love it.
Yeah. I so I've been very familiar with Mary Kay. I mean, have used Mary Kay products for literally since I was 15 years old. And one of my friends has she's very connected in the Mary Kay world. She used to be a rep, but now she just is a personal user. But one thing she talks about, because she's also a business coach, one thing she talks about that Mary Kay Ash said, and this is probably something if you've read her books, probably will not be new to you, but it might be new to somebody who's never read any of Mary Kay Ash's books, which is everyone is wearing an invisible sign around their neck that says, "Make me feel important."
Yes, very true. And
And
that's what you do.
yeah, and so by you reaching out to everybody and saying, "Hey, you've won a free facial," right? Because that verbiage is true, right? You
Yes,
drew their name out of out of the box and they won a free facial. They may not have won the free product, but they won a free facial and makeover, right? And the opportunity
exactly.
to do that. And that when people win, they feel special. They feel important,
Yes,
right? So I would encourage the person listening to this right now, even if you're not with Mary Kay, what can you do to make potential clients feel important and feel special to
yes.
you such that they want to connect with you? So, yeah, that's good. Now, it sounds like you've had a lot of good things going on in your business, a lot of things going on, but we all know business is not all roses and
No,
rainbows and
it's not.
perfection, right? So, what is something that you've overcome in your business that you are really proud of? Like, what's a challenge that you were facing and you were able to overcome it, and how did you overcome it?
In the beginning, I was struggling with people joining because I wasn't wording it right. I wasn't being me, is what a lot of the people told me. It was like I was reading from a script.
Yeah.
So I took a step back and I was like, okay, well, maybe if I did it this way and made it more fun, then I more people would be able to have an open mind and see all the good that Mary Kay did and still is doing, because her grandson Ryan is the CEO and he's a wonderful man. But so that's when I started to be me, I seen the turnaround with not only my sales but with my team members.
Okay. All right, good. And what would you say now? So you believe that coming up with your own authentic way, so being your authentic self and coming up with your own authentic verbiage is what helped you begin to grow your team with team members who were more connected to you?
Yes.
Awesome. So what would you say now is a challenge you're dealing with at the moment? Because I've got thousands of people who listen to the show, and there's a really good chance that somebody already overcame this challenge for you, or overcame this challenge in their business, and they may be able to reach out to you and share what worked for them. So what's something that you're dealing with right now that you could maybe use some help with?
Uh, right now, it's just I'm juggling different things. Like with when I was in California, I had to like rearrange some appointments because I wasn't supposed to be in California as long as I was. Um,
Okay.
one of my sons are in the Navy, and he's having his first baby.
Oh.
So we wasn't supposed to be out there as long as we were, but so I had to juggle around my schedule. So I'm even though I'm usually really good at it, I'm just kind of not too good at it right now.
Okay. Still trying to figure out the work-life balance or the work family life balance maybe.
Yes.
Okay. And it sounds like it's more of the calendar techniques more than anything.
Yes, because my youngest daughter, she just had surgery the day before I had to leave. And yeah, it was just an unscheduled leave. So it threw everybody's schedule out of whack. And then I was there longer. Yeah, it just, yeah.
Wow, a lot going on there for sure.
Yes.
Well, you know, what I would encourage is badass crew. That's my audience. If any of you have encountered and overcome and found a way to through a calendar technique of some way, shape, or form, being able to create more work-life balance or more work-life uh, I don't know about the word necessarily balance per se. It's not always my favorite because I don't think we're ever going to find perfect balance.
No, we're not.
Um, but I would encourage anyone who feels like they've got a pretty good grasp of their own balance to reach out to Rachel. All of her contact information is in the show notes to be able to connect with her about that to share with any tips or techniques that you may have as the badass crew with Rachel to help her with that. And so, Rachel, what is one of your next goals with your business? What are you looking to now create with your Mary Kay business?
Just to get more people to learn about taking better care of their skin. I'm right now, my main vision is to work with more brides
Okay.
and I want to actually become a sales director because my team is wanting me to run our own unit.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So they're like kind of pushing me to take the next step. So I am trying to work towards that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, that is good to know. Those are some good big goals. So now it's just important to know, how to get there and what's the deadline by which you want to accomplish it, you know?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I love it when people have big dreams, especially when your team is on board and they are wanting to do it too. So, because it sounds like even your team like fully understands like what's in it for them when
Yes.
you are a sales director. And I would point that out to the listener of the show right now, which is if you've been struggling to get your team on board with a goal that really you feel serves you, find what's in it for them. Again, this goes back to, even your team members are tuned into WIFM. What's in it for me? What's in it for the team member for you to reach a particular rank? What is the benefit for them? Because I found, just to share my own side, when I was working actively in my network marketing, in my direct sales business a few years ago, I asked my team, like, how would you benefit if I were to get to this rank? Like, what would you see as the benefit to you for me to be there? And the team came up with a bunch of really good ideas, some of which I had not even come up with because we talked about it as a team. And so I said, okay, and so are you guys on board with us as a group reaching towards that rank? And they were like, yeah, we want to do it. And I was like, okay, so what are you going to do about it? Because that was something I couldn't do by myself. Right. So I helped them to see what was in it for them. And then we made the plan of what we were all willing to do and how are we going to do it. And we held each other accountable through the process.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Rachel, this has been a really fantastic conversation. I so appreciate you sharing this here. And of course, you mentioned during our conversation that you also offer free facials and makeovers. And I'm assuming this would be for even any one of the listeners. If they maybe
Yes.
haven't had a Mary Kay facial or a makeover, you would offer it to them as well.
Yep.
Fantastic. And so, how would you like the listener to connect with you in order to be able to get their access to their free facial or makeover?
I answer to any of my social medias by calling, by texting. I answer to all of them.
Fantastic.
I'm very active, and that's what my customers like about me.
Oh, that is so good. Yeah. Being responsive is a really important thing because then that's a great way to make customers feel important and special. All right. So, of course, Badass Crew, you guys already know that Rachel's social media links, as well as her email and phone number, are in the show notes down below. But just in case this is your first time ever listening to Badass Direct Sales Mastery, all you have to do if you're interested in connecting with Rachel and seeing what she's doing on socials is grab your phone, as long as you're not driving, click on today's episode, scroll under Rachel's picture, and there you will see all of her contact information, including key takeaways from today's conversation, and also some nice little nuggets of knowledge and expertise that just came out today. So, Rachel, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy work and life and family schedule to share this knowledge with everybody.
Yeah, I very much loved it.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I had a great time talking with you and being able to share some of these great experiences and some fantastic knowledge with our Badass Crew. So thank you again for being here. And Badass Crew, of course, you know how this goes. Stay tuned because there's another badass episode on its way.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.